Is the camera ready? All right. First of all, when I'm done with this review, I'm probably most likely going to rewatch that episode again, or if not, specifically the fight, because none of that was in the manga. Number one, number two, this episode probably is at least easily top 5 best episodes of the entirety of the 1,000 Year Blood War so far being animated. Absolutely, bro. But first of all, Yoruichi and all of them going in to try and protect the Soul King, what was left, and Mimihagi going up there, and then Mimihagi being like the last remnants of, like, you know, the Soul King, and it only lasts as much as Ukitake is there. But people do not realize that I mean, I didn't realize how important Mimihagi coming up there and grabbing onto the Soul King. First of all, like, Yoruichi doing, like, her, like, ability of, like, making this giant stone, like, cylinder block looking thing to, like, hold the Soul King. It was so cool looking, and Yuak wasn't having it, like, just push him. But then, like, Pernita comes out from the other side and breaks, like, Yoruichi's arm, and she gets tossed. Like, bro, why, like, wild. But seeing that was crazy. And then, like, Yuak trying to take Mimihagi, which the whole thing was so cool with how, like, with how it looks, not just like him taking Mimihagi and stuff, but like everybody, like everything's on the clock now, everything's stabilized for now, they got to get going. They're like it was time is of the essence type of vibe. But in actuality, I did not realize this, but because of what Mimihagi did, and that Yuak could not see Mimihagi, like, he pretty much, like, you could surmise pretty much that he can't, like, see the Soul King with his eyes, in the future, can't, like, see the remnants of it and stuff, showing that, like, Mimihagi, he couldn't see Mimihagi, like, at all, and he was actually surprised by this, and Yoruichi saw that, took advantage of it, but it didn't fully work out, and then Yuak, like, talking about, like, the right arm is of the right arm of the Soul King is of stillness, keeps things at a standstill, and the left hand is progression, and you're gonna understand the left hand of the Soul King later on in this arc. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the fight, but the left arm of the Soul King is of, like, progression and whatnot, and that is just knowing that it's of progression, and the Mimihagi, the right arm, being of stillness and stuff, and Mimihagi being fond of the Soul Reapers and whatnot. It's not that it has become fond of the Soul Reapers, it's because of the Soul King himself. This is what he wanted and and what the world needed and stuff. We don't have to get into that right now. But Yuak being, like, it kind of took him a little while to, like, you know, rip Mimihagi off of, like, the Soul King and him absorbing the Soul King. And I did not realize this when I was reading it. I think I said this last review. I did not realize this, but Mimihagi is the sole reason that the worlds themselves are stabilized for the time being and screwed up all of Yuak's plans of having the worlds destroy each other. That he wants to bring back the primordial world when everything was as one. But clearly, that's not a good thing. People can say whatever they want about Yuak and his motives and stuff. He's an evil POS. That's what he is. He only cares about himself. He actually doesn't even care about his people in general, and that's why it makes me laugh when he's talking about, like, you foresaw the Quincy's the Quincy's, like, downfall, or, like, you know, the Quincy's, like, what is it called, the tragedy of the Quincy's. Like, that's not all that he saw. The tragedy of the Quincy's came about because of Yuak himself. I don't care what anybody says. He himself caused that shit. Because if he didn't do anything back in the day, Soul Reapers would not care about the Quincy's. They would not. They would not have done literally anything. But that's besides the point. Like, seeing that and seeing his dialogue and like just the way that all that shit was animated and stuff, and then like Yoruichi and all of them trying to go after like Yuak and stuff, and I love just the moment where Ichigo I love it how he overpowered like Yuak's blood vein in him with his own blood vein. Like, that shit was fire. Ichigo like forced it like out of him and then blocked Yuak and everything, and that whole fight went on or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see an arrow hit Yoruichi's arm or hit Yoruichi's shoulder, and it's Uryu, bro. And Uryu comes in, bro. That fight, that entire fight was literally anime only. We never saw that in the manga. It was straight fire. I loved everything about it. You know, Ichigo during this. Here's the thing that I love about this. First of all, seeing like, you know, Orihime and Chad and Ganju like you know, going up against a little bit of like the Schutzstaffel, the Royal Guard of Yoak, was really freaking awesome. I really loved it. It was really cool. Ganju kind of doing like his thing a little bit, but then also like him also doing his thing sort of against like Yuak and stuff. And then like, you know, Yoruichi talking about like those bombs are like just like the cloud or whatever. Those smoke bombs. The second ones are what melts you or something like that. And then Yuak's like, I ain't having none of that. Destroy that. Amazing stuff. And then you got like a little bit of a tussle between Ganju, Orihime, and Chad and stuff. And then bro, that was awesome with Chad going in a little bit and other characters going in a little bit. But then you got Orihime seemingly like not, I don't want to say effortlessly, but easily being able to block and reflect Gerard Valkyrie's sword slash, bro. And deflecting it and just deflecting it up. Like, it was so beautiful. Like, Orihime has come a long way. I love her so much. I loved her since day one, her silly goofiness, and then her coming in clutch right here, like blocking it. But then they all got like swept away pretty much. And that's kind of and that's a little bit like, you know, that's that. But then the fight with Ichigo and Uryu was so fire, bro. Like, even just Uryu's Wolf standing, which looks so beautiful looking. It looks so good. Also, what's very funny to me is when people actually try to put this like similarity to like, you know, like other characters in anime, like Goku and Vegeta, or like Naruto and Sasuke. Like, they put Uryu and Ichigo together as something like that in terms of like, you know, as friends fighting each other. Yeah, I completely understand that. But Uryu and Ichigo, this is what sets it apart from like, you know, Naruto and Sasuke or Vegeta and Goku, is that Uryu and Ichigo are not rivals, like literally at all. Like, they, in the entirety of the series, they have never once ever in the series have shown each other to be like rivals, which are like trying to one up each other or get stronger than the other and stuff. That never happened in Bleach, like ever, from both of those characters, Ichigo and Uryu, like ever. The only similarity is that they're really good friends, but Uryu's ending up on the other side because of certain reasons, and Ichigo's pissed off at it, so he's trying to get him back and everything. That in similarity, perfect. As rivals, they're not even like literally anything in terms of rivals. They've never cared to one up each other or get stronger than each other and stuff. And like, they've never done that. The only people who have actually tried to do that or have ever been wanting to do that or be that are Zaraki, Kenpachi Zaraki, Grimmjow, the Arankar, Grimmjow, and Renji. Those three are Ichigo's actual rivals and whatnot. In terms of like, they want to keep fighting each other and one up each other and get stronger to fight each other and stuff. Those three, Zaraki, Grimmjow, Renji, are his actual rivals. Uryu is just a very close friend that he loves and cares about. That he feels sad that he had to go on the other side. I just want to clear that up, because it was a little ridiculous when people are showing that like, oh, they're like an exact like same type of vibe when with it's 50% like the same vibe, but then 50% it's like it's different because they're really just friends and not rivals, like literally at all. Again, they're literally not rivals, like in literally in anything, Ichigo and Uryu. But anyways, I digress. Keep going. And for me, the fight, obviously Ichigo is pissed off at what Uryu is doing. Like, they're going in and fighting and stuff. First of all, his standing looks like absolutely phenomenal, amazing. Like the symbol kind of looks like a soldier's like a badge of honor, kind of. Like or like some sort of like soldier's like medal of honor or badge or something that you'd see on like, you know, a military uniform. And one, like, it looks really cool, and you got like the design on not only his arms but like, or like his wrists, but then on his chest, and then on his like actual boots and stuff. And that's like, you could say that is like the I guess the strongest form, I guess, of a Quincy. But even then, Ichigo is not like, here's the thing. If you think that Uryu actually is like an op just because he is a Quincy, you don't understand Uryu like at all as a character. The entirety of the series, Uryu is a character who isn't a follower, a straight up follower, just because, even if he understood like the history of some of the history and stuff, like him constantly repeating things in this fight, I feel like to me was a signal, a very slight, I guess, like coded signal to Ichigo that like, kind of like, I'm a Quincy, I should do this like myself. So, like, you know, people wouldn't know beforehand and shit. Like I feel like towards the end of that fight, you know, when Ichigo gets shot by Uryu's arrow, which, bro, Uryu is not faster than Ichigo. He's not, like, he can be really fast with, like, arrows and stuff, which was awesome to see, like, him and Ichigo fighting, and not only that, like, them going close combat, and Uryu still fighting close combat, like making arrows without using a bow and stuff like that, and Ichigo notices that, and stuff. That's kind of like what, like, Yuak was doing. Like Yuak makes, like, arrows without any, like, bow staff or anything like that, so that was absolute fire and peak. Like, I love. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And the fluidity was nuts in the whole fight. Like, you know, him, like, Ichigo using Getsuga, Jujisho, and then Uryu using, which looks seemingly like an ultimate, like, arrow, like, attack or something like that from a Quincy or some shit. And even then, the Jujisho got past Uryu. Like, it wasn't, like Uryu's attack that just then was literally nothing to Ichigo. So for me, this fight wasn't really Ichigo even trying, like, really, really hard. It didn't feel like that to me. Throughout the fight, it seemed like Ichigo, like, was starting to understand sort of Uryu and what he's talking about and whatnot. Because think about Uryu as a character the entire series, not just this moment. It's not a betrayal because he's a Quincy and stuff. He's doing shit on the low because there's no way you would join a group that killed your mother. There is no, like, the love that he had for his mother, bro. He would not be going with these Quincy's unless he has some sort of thing going on, some sort of plan. And I feel like throughout the fight, Ichigo was understanding that, and like seeing him fight and seeing, like, you know, like him turning, like, you know, Volstanic, Uryu turn Volstanic. Well, look, first of all, again, it looks beautiful, but then like using those, like, you know, they look like the symbols that are on Uryu's chest, like the soldier badge or whatever. Those things like flying around, the CGI and them attacking Ichigo and stuff, like, oh my gosh, it was nuts. Like, that was absolutely stunning and beautiful. The music was fantastic. Everything, like even just Ichigo, like, using Getsuga Tensho and Jujisho and all this stuff, like, it's absolutely stunning and absolutely amazing. And you can clearly understand, people can say what they want, like Uryu beat him or something. At the end, Ichigo took the L for Uryu. He let Uryu get him. I'm pretty sure because he kind of understood something that was going on with Uryu. That he is like, you know, make it look like you got me. Got him. Uryu pretty much going more so all out than Ichigo could, because Uryu knows that there is a specific person on Ichigo's side in his group, or on the other side with the Soul Reapers, that can literally reject reality and revert it to what it was. A female character literally has that ability, easily has that ability to help Ichigo, even though Ichigo has this big chunk of his body blown off. Ichigo knows this, Uryu knows this, and clearly, Haschwald, from his eyes, from his, you know, his squinting kind of eyes staring at Uryu, he knows Uryu, he's, which is funny to me. He's still suspicious of Uryu. He knows Uryu has some sort of plan of something. And he knows this. Uryu 100% does. Again, if you take into account Uryu's character and what he's been up until the ending of all of this, there is no world that him truly being an op or on the bad guy's side, on the enemy side, where that even makes any sense. It makes literally no sense given Uryu's character itself. Like, it doesn't. Like, if you know his character and love his character, it doesn't make sense unless he's a covert op. He's like a double agent or triple agent or whatever. That's the only logical explanation of it. And then also, bro, I love not only, like, you know, Ichigo using, like, he uses his blood vein to cancel out Yuok's blood vein that was in his arm, like using the sword, Yuok's sword to slash the Soul King, but like doing that, like forcing that. But not only that, he uses the blood vein to block one of Uryu's arrows hitting him, and then Uryu's like, wait, what? Like, why do you have, like, him in Uryu's head? It's like, why do you have blood vein? What is going on there? Like, I love the shocked face on Uryu, man. Like, seeing that, like, it was amazing. The entire fight was absolutely nuts. Like, oh my gosh. Like, obviously, Uryu, given what happened with Senjumaru, he has a special shrift ability and everything, and he hasn't used it in that fight. But also, Ichigo has actually two forms that he has not used whatsoever. This wasn't a fight to the death, or a fight to kill your brother, or technically your cousin. You know, to kill your friend and your cousin and stuff. That wasn't the point of this fight, like, at all. Like, if people just want to see it face value and not actually understand the fight, go ahead and stuff. Say that Uryu deserved or took that W like a champ or something, but Ichigo let him have it. They're like, him putting his arm up, like, that was fucking deliberate. That was 100% deliberate. There's no way Ichigo would have just done like a Getsuga Tensho to block Uryu's arrow in that moment. He would have done that easily, but he didn't. He went like that, and probably in his head, looking at Uryu, he's like, hit me. Like, that's what it, like, there's no other way or reasoning as to why Ichigo did this in the air. He never does that. Unless he has his Bankai and he just gets you, like, that's the only reason. So to me, 100% Ichigo through the fight he has some of the highest IQ in a fight, period, of almost anybody in Bleach in general. So it's like, it doesn't make sense that, like, he wouldn't start to slightly understand what's going on with Uryu and everything when Uryu kept saying the exact same things over and over again. Like, I'm a Quincy and stuff. That's why I'm here. And like it just, for Uryu's character to just say, I'm a Quincy, that's why I'm finding you, is some of the stupidest shit, unless he's literally doing something else undercover. Like, there's literally no reason as to why he's with the ops just because, bro. I'm telling you that there's a theory that I started thinking of also that I'm not gonna say in this review, but I think Uryu is letting these things happen to get closer and closer, like sort of like pay attention. Or do you remember what Gin did? He did all those messed up things, dark things and stuff, like traitorous stuff, betrayal and everything for so many characters, just so he can get very close to a certain person, Aizen, to help his girl that he loved so much, Rangiku. Think of that and think of what Uryu's doing. Like, if I think of that and think of what Uryu's doing, he's trying to get as close as he can and as much trust as he can with the Quincy's. That's so he can get his get back. Like, that's what it is. And I love it. And I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. Oh, it's so good. And then at the end, when like, which was so cool to watch, like how like the Royal Guard and the Schistaffel, and then like Jugrum, Haschval and Uryu, they all like seem like they pick up their swords, like their reishi swords, and like give it to like Yuak when he's like absorbing the Soul King and stuff. And you'll see next episode, I'm pretty sure next episode, you're going to understand how stupidly strong and stupidly powerful the Soul King truly was. And, like, bro, it was to the point where, I'm going to say this right now, to the point where it was like, basically, like, Yuak was like throwing up. Like, I'll just say that. Next episode is probably going to show it. But, yo, that ending, when you see all those eyes open with Yuak, looks absolutely fire. It looks amazing. But at the same time, you know, Ukitake, rest in peace. You know, he did what he had to do, and he actually accomplished it. It's not exactly being like taking the place of the Soul King, but that very thing that Mimihage did starts to tumble down Yuak's downfall in him losing. Like, that was what it is. Because now, the Soul King was the stabilizer of the three realms. Mimihage, you know, it was actually starting to collapse. Everything was shaking, constant earthquakes and stuff when the Soul King got slashed, cut in half, killed. And then Mimihage grabs it, and then everything stabilizes. But now, Mimihage forced his hand in this moment that now Yuak himself has to absorb the Soul King and the right arm. And because of that, he himself has become the linchpin of the three realms. So now he is alive with the Soul King's powers, and everything's stabilized now. All the realms are stabilized because Yuak had his hand forced to absorb the Soul King's power, which made Yuak himself become the Soul King and became the very thing he wanted to destroy. He sought after destroying. That's literally, bro, I didn't realize this when I was reading, but it was absolutely amazing and stunning. I loved everything about it. And that ending with the Schistaffel and Haschval and Uryu, like using their reishi swords and like giving it to Yuak, so then like he can absorb the Soul King and stuff. Like the whole thing of what it looked like. Oh my gosh! Again, the CGI is phenomenal. Period Films is not shying away from the CGI. If you want to go all in and stuff like that, like they're doing it perfectly and stuff. Again, that fight with Ichigo and Uryu was absolute peak and phenomenal and stuff. You know, Ichigo could have killed Uryu. He could have killed him. But that's not the point that wasn't the point of the fight. That wasn't the point of the fight, and Ichigo let him take and Ichigo took the L for our boy Uryu and everything. And just wait till everything else starts unfolding. Next episode is gonna be amazing. Chair-sama is coming. I'm excited for that shit, and I'm excited for Chair-sama, and I'm excited to see more of what ends up happening with Yuak himself, because again, you're gonna understand how powerful and how insanely strong the Soul King was next episode. But that is it, all I had to say. If you liked the video, liked anything I had to say, leave down in the comments your thoughts about anything I had to say and everything about the episode. Like, leave down in the comments how peak Part 3 has been for Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. And It's just so amazing. Leave down in the comments your thoughts about the fight and everything and whatnot. Again, like, Ichigo has 2 forms that he has not shown yet. Obviously, you know, he has a Bankai. He has a Bankai. He has not shown that, and he hasn't shown something else. And I'm very hyped and excited to see both of those. My girl Orihime going in, Ganju going in, even though they, even Yoruichi went in, even though everything didn't, like, really work out, like, at all and stuff, they still tried and they still look cool and everything. Even though Uryu hasn't shown his shrift in the fight with Ichigo, Ichigo was going, Ichigo was going full on easy with him. But anyways, like the video if you did, anything I had to say, the episode, comment down below on your thoughts about the episode, your thoughts about what I said and whatnot, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, discussion videos, and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sexy, moment, supporting everybody. You gotta stay a little nasty, alright? So peace and love, and I'll see y'all later in the next video. Peace out, may the force be with you always. La Tom, Bankai, next episode, Chair-sama, is most likely coming, and I'm very hyped, and I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be good. Ukitake, like, rest in peace again. But, like, Kisuke, my boy, time is of the essence. Let's go. Peace out, and I'll see you guys later.